This week's topic is about the power of positive thinking. Some say that our reality is based on our perception. How we perceive and interpret the world can and does impact how we feel, what we do, and how we live our lives. When an issue comes up, do we see a challenge or an opportunity? Do we react or do we think? Imagine you're walking through the woods, and suddenly a tiger appears on the path ahead of you. When this happens, your brain registers a negative emotion, in this case, fear. Negative emotions cause your brain to react in a specific way. When the tiger crosses your path, you run. The rest of the world doesn't matter. You are focused entirely on the tiger, the fear it creates, and how you can get away from it. In other words, negative emotions narrow your mind and focus your thoughts. You might have had the opportunity to climb a tree or grab a stick, but your brain ignores these options because they don't seem relevant when the tiger is standing in front of you. Unfortunately, the programmed response may not always be the best response, like trying to outrun a 600-pound tiger in the woods. Good luck. Unfortunately, our brains haven't evolved as quickly as society, and we're still pre-programmed to almost immediately react to negative emotions rather than to observe and think. By getting in the habit of thinking positively, when faced with a situation or challenge, you'll be more inclined to look for a solution or a positive outcome. In today's world, the tiger has been replaced by your boss, workmate, spouse, son, or daughter, and they may be the source of a potentially negative situation. If you're in the habit of thinking positively, your response might be to look for common ground or a positive outcome, versus reacting negatively or instinctively and challenging or confronting them. And positive thinking can be good for you. Positive thinking will help you be more successful personally and professionally. An optimistic outlook gives you the confidence and resilience you need to overcome challenges and be successful. You'll be happier too. It's easier to experience joy and pleasure when you have a positive outlook on life. Things won't be as burdensome, and you'll start seeing the good and not just the bad in situations. You'll actually live longer too. A recent Dutch study found that people who were pessimistic were 55% more likely to die during their 9-year follow-up period. This effect was particularly strong in men. Another study found that optimists were less likely to develop coronary heart disease than pessimists. And one study even found that individuals who had a higher level of optimism had a 73% lower risk of heart failure compared to those people who were pessimistic. Researchers find that positive thinkers cope more efficiently than pessimists. When an optimist encounters a disappointment, they are more likely to focus on the things that they can do to resolve the situation, whereas pessimists, on the other hand, simply assume that the situation is out of their control and that there is nothing that they can do about it. There is also evidence that your mind can have a powerful effect on your body. Immunity is one area where your thoughts and attitudes can have a particularly powerful influence. In one study, researchers found that activization of brain areas associated with negative emotions led to a weaker immune response to flu vaccine. They also found that people who were optimistic about a specific or important part of their lives, such as how they were doing in school, exhibited a stronger immune response than those people who had a negative view of their situation. Here are some tips to help you become a positive thinker. Start each day with a positive affirmation. Get ready for the day by thinking about all the things that are going to go right and how you're going to build upon them. There's no such thing as a perfect day, so when you encounter a challenge or a disappointment, search for the benefits, no matter how slight or unimportant they may seem. Remember, try to find the silver lining. Allow yourself to experience humor in even the darkest and most trying situations. Don't be afraid to laugh about what a knucklehead you were to get into this situation. We all make mistakes and experience failure in multiple ways. Instead of focusing on how or why you failed, think about what you're going to do to make it better. Learn from your mistakes. Negative self-talk can bring you down. You might start thinking I shouldn't be doing this, or I'm out of my league, or there's no way this is going to work out. But all these thoughts do is take your energy and focus away from the positive. Start thinking about how this is going to be such a great challenge for you and how you're going to succeed. Stay in the moment. Often in negative situations, our minds race to the worst scenario. What if this happens? What if that happens? By staying in the moment, you won't waste your time and energy thinking about what could happen, but be able to apply these resources to finding solutions to what is happening.